Defensive lineman Mike Montgomery was a seventh-round draft pick by the Packers in 2005 out of Texas A&M. He was from a small town in rural Texas and drafted to the smallest town in the NFL. Mike Montgomery, you come from an athletic family. Your mom, I understand, a Hall of Fame basketball player. What did she impart on you with sports?
She just taught that hard work pays off. You know, hard work, coming in with good faith, treating people how you want to be treated, and working your butt off, and things could happen. And she was always just a goal of mine to just emulate her career. So I was blessed to see that at the house. Now,
you grew up in East Texas, right? Center?
Yes, sir.
Texas. Where is that? What major area is that close to?
It's a super small town, maybe 2,000-3,000 people, and it was maybe like 3.5 hours from Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I spent a year in Texas doing high school football, and a little town up in the Panhandle. I don't know if you know where Pampa, Texas is, but it was a town of 25,000 in the mid-'70s. The two tallest structures in town were the grain elevator on one side of town, the press box of the football stadium on the other side of town. Yeah. And every Friday night, 20,000 people showed up to watch the Pampa Harvesters play. Friday Night Lights. What was that like to play as a kid?
It was exciting. Like Mike Neal, you know, I started playing football later in life. You know, growing up, mom was a basketball player. I thought I was just going to be a basketball player, so I started playing football late in high school, and it came natural to me. I loved the physicality of playing football, and just out there with the lights and the aggression, and you know, it's either you or the other guy's going to win. It was just exciting for me to be out there. Ain't nothing like football in Texas.
Pretty good athlete, though. Weren't you all-state in both football and basketball?
Yes, sir. Played football, all-state in football and basketball. Played in the all-star games in football and basketball. Played football and basketball in college as well.
So you grew up in a real small town, as you pointed out, and you get drafted by the smallest town in the NFL, the Packers.
I didn't care where I got drafted, but gladly I got drafted to a great organization. You know, it was really like a family organization when I got in. You know, I remember one example when they had family night, and that was a time when they flew your parents in, and my mom called me, and I'm like, "Mom, is everything all right?" And then like 30 minutes later, I saw her at practice. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "No, it's family night. They flew us out there," and it just shows how much the Packers organization cares about their players, because you know, I believe if you have a good, strong mental state, you have a great performance on the field. So it was just a great family organization playing here.
You played for two coaches. Mike Sherman was here when you got here as a rookie, and then Mike McCarthy came on. Can you give us kind of a thumbnail and your impressions of these two coaches?
Very similar coaching styles. They're just like a no-nonsense type personality. Like, hey, you get in, you do what you're supposed to do. You try to decrease the mental errors and win and go home. You know, he always had a no-nonsense attitude when it comes to playing the game. You know, if you do the right things, you try not to beat yourself when it comes to playing football. So they both had similar coaching styles.
Okay, you're drafted in the 6th round of 2005. That's the Aaron Rodgers draft.
Yeah.
So what was the first rookie experience like when you came? You know, after the draft, they had that rookie symposium or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What was that like with Aaron Rodgers? Did you know what you were getting into?
I really didn't know what I was getting into. I was just excited and just going with the moment. We was a real rowdy, rambunctious rookie class. I mean, I remember in practice, you know, we all came up from something, and we would all, like, before practice, you know, in OTAs, we would get in a huddle and just get each other motivated. So we had this song back then they didn't want us, now we hot, all up on us. So we was a rowdy, rambunctious class, and looking back, you know, everybody from our class made a huge contribution, from, you know, Mike Hawks to Nick Collins to Marvin Underwood and Terrence Murphy and Aaron Rodgers, of course. So we all played a big role while we was on the team for the Packers.
2 years later, 3 seasons later, it's 2007. It's Mike McCarthy's second year. The first year was about, I think, 8-8, and then nobody was expecting much from this team, and you guys took off and had a great run. Brett Favre in his last year in Green Bay. You go all the way to the NFC Championship game at home. On one of the coldest nights, and there have been a lot of them, but one of the coldest nights in Lambeau Field history, you guys are taking on the Giants. But before I get to that game, let me ask you about the Seattle game. In the snow the week before, and you guys get down. Ryan Grant fumbles twice. It's 14-0 Seattle. It's snowing hard, and all of a sudden you guys scored, I don't know, 42 unanswered points. What kind of a experience was that?
Man, it was just overwhelming. You know, when you look back and you're trying to come back, you know, I never just thought of us just being down. It was just trying to make every play count. You know, sometimes in football, you know, we always look at the big picture, but to come back and do stuff like that, you just need to take one play at a time and try to win your play, win that down. And we just compelled a lot of plays, and look at the score. Next thing you know, we was up and winning.
Do the Packers enjoy playing in snow?
I loved it. I mean, I'm from the country. You know, I never seen snow until I came here. So playing in snow, playing anywhere, I really just embellished the opportunity to play my dream and do my dream goal, dream job.
So that game takes place on a Saturday. You guys beat Seattle. Now you're waiting to see who you're going to play in the NFC Championship game. If the Cowboys win, the game will be played in Dallas. If the Giants win, they're coming to Green Bay to play the Packers. You know the forecast, the extended forecast is pretty cold in Green Bay.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be 40-something in Dallas, which would be kind of pleasant, actually. What were you guys hoping for that championship game? Did you want it at home, or would you be a little better and more comfortable in Dallas?
You know, either way, you know, we just wanted it. You know, regardless if we played away or home, it's just to have the opportunity to play, because, you know, football, playing NFL is so competitive. And every play, every snap counts. So, you know, regardless of how we got in and where we was playing, just as long as we got there, it was most important for us.
So you get there, and it's the Giants, it's in Lambeau Field, and it's cold. Tell me about that. What do you remember from that game?
Oh, man, it was a game of superstars. You know, from Michael Strahan to Plexico, from Eli Manning to the other players it was a game of superstars, from ours, Donald Drivers, and you know, it was a game of superstars, and it was just really highly competitive. You know, it was a game of inches, like they say in any given Sunday, and playing that was amazing. You know, it was just sucks to see us go on a losing board, but it was a game of superstars, and whoever won it the most, whoever made the initial adjustments at halftime kind of won, because it was snowy. You really couldn't just pass the ball like that, and it was just a physical game.
Let me ask you this. As you went on from Green Bay and on into life, how does football somewhat prepare you for the discipline it takes to be successful in business and other walks of life?
Yes, sir, it does. You know, the same type of hard work, the same type of energy and focus and passion you put in to being a professional football player is the same way you can just transfer over to any field, to entrepreneurship, to business, to any type of job you want to go to. So it does prepare you, and it shows you a blueprint of how you need to handle your life. Because, you know, like we said, you know, not everybody gets to play professional football. You know, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of talent, and it also takes a lot of sacrifice, because, you know, a lot of things we weren't doing, you know, we was just focused on playing and improving our bodies and staying out of trouble, and not necessarily doing the things we enjoyed doing, but just being safe and controlling our environment, as you could say.
What do you take from your Green Bay experience? I mean, years later now, when you reflect on it, when you think about your experience here in Green Bay, what do you remember? What do you think?
I remember a family, you know, a family organization. A lot of people I played with, I'm still really good friends today. Talked about Tony Fisher. I just saw him. We played together. So I think a family organization, you know. As you get older You know, your circle becomes smaller. You know, you don't get to socialize as much, you know, with families and all that, but a family organization, and this is my extended family.
Mike Montgomery played the first 5 years of his career with the Packers, covering 56 games. He signed with the Minnesota Vikings in March of 2010 and was released on the final cutdown that year. He returned to the Packers when injuries hit for a couple of games during the middle of the Super Bowl season.